I'm banking on this idea that at least a few of you are not stalkers and actual fans, okay? I'm trying to be upbeat. It's hard. You can see I'm tired. I'm in a lot of pain. I ran out of pain medicine. I have to change my plan over. I'm still living on the streets, okay? A week and a half ago, I had my iPhone stolen, and then they were going to steal my sneakers, but I had written all over them, and they're like, oh, those are custom. And I'm like, yeah, you damn right they're custom. I paid $10 at Marshall's, and I painted them up with my pens. So they didn't steal that. They respected that. But then when they saw me calling 911, they smashed my phone. Okay, and that was the second time I had an altercation there. And I'm homeless. I can't go back to the no safe haven after 6 days of waiting for the mayor to never show up. And then they finally sent this awful woman out to torture me for 24 hours. 24 hours. I had enough. I picked up my stuff and I said, fuck the mayor. Went over to the skate park. First night it rained. Second night, some kid thug tried to throw a rock in my back. Okay. And then the other one's like, I'm gonna shoot you with my gun. Like standing up on the bench, and I'm like, you think you scare me? I'm not afraid of the devil. I slept next to him for 38 years. I've had my face smashed into the wall by a crooked jailer who tried to choke me to death in front of a dorm full of inmates. Okay. Then they sent me over to the crazy pot. I just gone. And people are like, whoa. You know what? One time I was trying to, I had my purple wig on, okay? And I try to cross the street. I have the walking man light, right? And then this guy, there's two black guys. They're driving the car and they got dreadlocks. And they're trying to pass another vehicle, right? But it's a red light. And so he cuts me off, right? And I'm so mad. Because I knew he didn't even look for me. And so I just slapped the back of his car. That's all I did. I didn't do any damage or anything. I just slapped the back of his car really hard to alert him of the fact that he almost hit me. Okay. I got my purple wig on and I walked down, halfway down the next block, right? And then he finally turns right and then crosses in front of me in the alleyway, and he gets out. And he comes over to me and he goes, you can't just be touching people's stuff. And I said, oh, really? You shouldn't be cutting people off. He goes, what do you mean? I said, I am a pedestrian. I had the right of way. I had a walking sign, and you almost ran over me. And he's like, oh, well, I didn't see you. And I said, well, I can't even remember. I basically told him, I was letting him know I was there, and I had the right of way, even if I didn't have the walking man sign. And I might have said something about his driving skills. I thought that's what it was. If you didn't see me, then you shouldn't be driving. That's what I said. Okay. And so then he's like, but you can't just be touching people's stuff. And then he goes, I think he tried to threaten me in some way. And I said, what are you going to do? He implied that, I crossed the line. I think that's what it was. And I said, what are you going to do? And he says, I'm going to curse your purple hair. And I'm like, honey, you think I'm afraid of you. I'm not afraid of the devil. I slept next to him for 38 years. And I just turned around and walked away. Why am I talking about that? Because I've been here in front of my sister's place now for probably about a week and a half. And I'm so homeless. I can't get, of course it's getting colder, right? And so I'm trying to use my yarn, crochet some hats for people and stuff. And while I'm sitting here, I'm so low. It's drizzling down rain. I'm waiting for the moon to come up. I had made a friend, okay? He just sat on the bench in the wet rain, waiting for the moon to never eclipse, because clouds were in the way, feeling so bad, still out in the streets. And I thought about music. And so I'm in the library, and I'm like, you know what? One of those dreams for me was to see Sara Bareilles. All of the times, all the songs I covered for her, of hers, right? She Used to Be Mine. I did that over and over again. I love that song. I wanted to see The Waitress. When I was at Nancy's house, okay, after I escaped captivity and I was at Nancy's house, I covered a bunch of her songs, Orpheus and Islands, and her music really spoke to me too when I was going through all of this stuff with COVID in Frenchtown. And so I kept saying on my videos, and see, this is the thing, when I publicly say that stuff, right, people say, people basically say, oh, well, what can we do to derail those dreams, okay? And the truth is, I'm here in Baltimore. I meant to go to Washington, D.C. And so I'm listening to her music, and I'm thinking, okay, I'm on the streets, right? I can't even send my husband, what was it, like $200? No. I have to send him money for his asthma medication. That's what it was. Because I'm trying to hold out for a place here and get off the streets, right? And so, what do? I'm sitting in the streets. I got money. I had money for a deposit on some apartments I was thinking about. But I need to save my money. I certainly need to send money to my husband, right? But I don't have any of that. And this is kind of about my healing. Just doing this thing with the crochet, and I was thinking about the masks that we did in 2000 during COVID, and I'm getting inspired to do that again. But the things that inspired me were the music. It was the music that I listened to when I was doing those projects, and one of them was Sara Bareilles. I always wanted to meet her. And before I sang Islands, okay, at Nancy's house, I said something about how she seems like such a beautiful soul, and I wanted to see her. I wanted to see her in concert, and she is in concert. She's going to be in concert in Washington, D.C. next week, and I just, I'm like with Alison Krauss, I just bought one ticket. I had to, but I ended up going by myself. I'm just going to buy this one ticket. It's like $500. Now I know I can get a bus ride over there for $8. But I don't know if I can swing tickets. And so I'm like, okay, well, some of my followers might like Sara Bareilles if I tag it. Will she see it? Because I've been covering her stuff. And so I'm going to put this out there. I'm 50, just turned 59. It wasn't the loneliest birthday, because I had a friend. It was the second loneliest birthday. I'm gonna start living my dreams and doing the things that I wanted to do, that I could never do. I know there'll be a way around it. I'm the Queen of Wands. But I don't have $500, okay? I gotta figure out a way to get to Washington, D.C. next week and one ticket to Sara Bareilles. So, Sara Bareilles, honey, I love you. I do. I wanted to meet you in forever. And I got this crazy, seemingly crazy story to tell about the last 2.5 years. Well, I've been trying to get there. Like, no, it's been more like 4 years. Okay, this is 2024. I would really love to see you in concert. And I think I deserve it. So maybe I could get a comp ticket. I can afford the bus if it's really only $8. Okay. Oh yeah, I choose you. I love that song. I heard it at Michael's when I was living in St. Peter's, and I didn't have Shazam. I just heard it over, the loudspeakers. I'm like, hey, do you know? I asked the girl that worked there, hey, do you know who does this song? And I really loved it. But I love the song, but my ex-husband really didn't like the song. And so I never sang it, but I love to listen to it. I mean, I never sang it for him. I done a whole bunch of covers. That was the thing. Like 200 covers, and there was a whole bunch of them I covered for Sara Bareilles. A lot of female writers like Carole King, Vonda Shepard, Carly Simon. And so I did Sarah's covers, a bunch of them. I did a whole bunch of requests from my ex-husband, and he, after 200 covers, he made some excuse about how he couldn't use his real name and click on a heart and love it and say, thank you, honey, for doing that. And I should have known at the time, right? Okay. Why he made up some lame excuse about how he had to use a fake name, because when he finally did go on there, he went under the fake name Johnson Phineas Smile. And I thought he was being mean. There was this narcissistic breadcrumbing, right? And it happens with comments. He doesn't want to be seen, lifting up his wife. Is basically what it boils down to. I thought it was just out of meanness. But now what I realize is that the fake names are because of his criminality, right? Because all of the people that I've met along the way, and I say this over and over again, criminals seldom use their real names, okay? But where was I going with that? See, I keep going down these rabbit holes. The point was this: I'm still healing. And part of my message has been healing through music and art. My song, Legacy, was about being shut up my whole life. And that's one of the things you have to learn, to release your throat chakra and sing out again. I was standing down a block down there, and I was listening to Nicole Nordman, an artist I haven't heard in I don't know how long, singing at the top of my lungs. And so for me, the music therapy is not only performing music, right, but listening to music as well. And that's really, most of us aren't really musicians. Okay, most of us are music lovers. I mean, right? And so what music touches you to heal will be different. But for me, okay, that song, I Choose You, touched me. And I loved the melody, and I loved everything about it. And this thing about my ex-husband and the fake names and everything, right? He could never show me he liked that song. And that was one of the songs that I was uploading when I was at the Starbucks at the corner of Fowler and Winkler, where Derek and I met. There was 8 songs, and that was one of them. And when I recorded it at the St. John the Apostle, the gay church. Okay. I used their piano and I recorded it. I had my purple plaits, and And I had just dumped this guy named T.J. Bronson. I called him the Cowboy Angel. It turned out to be a hitman. Okay, all right. When I was stuck in Manning, South Carolina, and I met this guy named Colbert McRae. He was a really sweet guy at the McDonald's. And he looked like the emperor that I had manifested on the back of the Light Sears tarot deck. Okay, he was an older guy. He was an older black guy, and there was like a whole bunch of kids in the McDonald's because it was after school, right? And so they're all throwing food at each other, and the manager's coming out and saying, you need to calm down. And so there's me, because I ran out of gas in Manning, South Carolina, right? So I'm parked at the Walmart next door, and I came over to the Mickey D's to charge my phone, drinking water. And he's over there with his computer. And I see him, and we start talking, and I tell him about my ex-husband and fleeing from him and everything like that. And he even offers me a job. He says, don't go back to Fort Myers because I'm worried for you and your ex-husband and everything like that. Colbert, I think, is like 70 years old. He was married twice. I don't think either one of his marriages worked out. They ended in divorce, and his mom passed away in like might have been 2015 or something like that. There was a whole thing. She had burned up in a fire, and his evil uncle, her brother, who was a preacher in South Florida, a Baptist preacher in South Florida. What was his name? I'm going down another evidentiary rabbit hole. Because I'm telling you about I Choose You, the song. Okay, Sara Bareilles. I'm just going to say this out so I can listen to it. I love the song. My ex didn't love it. But I was uploading it the day I met Derek. And so I was telling him the story about how my ex-husband couldn't show me under a real name. Click a like. Thank you, honey, for doing my request. And this was the happiest point of our life. We're at the Hilton, right? We got half a payout of that meager sale on that property, that cursed property. Hilton in Tampa. That was when my world fell apart, right after that. But he's at a family reunion or something, and I'm at the Hilton and downstairs, and all the bucks are upstairs, and there's some rappers upstairs. Derek's like, there's so-and-so here. I'm like, I have no idea who that is. Okay, I've been living in the cave for 38 years. I'm uploading a new video. Oh, I know what it was. It was private videos of me and Derek. I made a private, of us being at the cards game, and him with the Arenado shirt and all of that stuff. And then he went on my song, I Choose You, the one I had recorded at the gay church that I was uploading the day we met. And he went on there and he said all kinds of comments under his real name. I'm gonna make it to that concert. Maybe I'll do this. I'm just gonna take the bus. And see. Somebody gives me a ticket. I don't know. I want someone to give me a ticket. Please, Sara. I'm begging. I don't know. Sara probably doesn't have 20 minutes to watch this video about me. I've been through so much, honey. Oh, and I love to go see any show at the Kennedy Center. Why wouldn't I? I'm literally in Baltimore. It's an $8 ticket. Bus ticket. You gotta go to the Gray House station, okay? I can manage that. And then what do I do with all my blankets? It rained last night. It rained. It rained. It was so drizzly. I couldn't see the moon. I was so depressed. But I made a new friend. And I came back here. There's these, okay. The people here torturing me, okay? It's probably a violation of the rules here for me to take a picture of me with this bag. You know, you can't see anybody. I'm just telling you. These people hate me. and I try to do nice things, you know, like this one woman. There was this other woman beating the shit out of her with her cane, okay? I just got my cell phone smashed 2 days before, right? I tried to pick it up and call 911, and she's like, call 911. I said, I can't, my cell phone smashed. So I went over there and I pulled her off of the one that was beating her with the cane, okay? And the other woman she was on top of it, pulled her big brains out, okay? And so I said, you need to grab one arm. I can't subdue her with 2. So finally I did. You know what? I don't even remember what happened. Who intervened at that point? Okay. But I basically saved this woman's life, right? And so now she's accusing me of stealing her phone and her purse. And every time she sees me, she just goes nuts. And I can saying all these evil things about me. You know? That just saying that it's devil spell work, right? Talking about. And so I'm like, you know, they're talking about me whoring around and being a black witch and everything. This is the stuff that they said down, you know, in Florida. My ex's family, my family, right? I'm crazy. But at the same time, these people are lunatics. Okay? Who are out to get me. I'm being paranoid. They really are. This is one of the things that my ex-husband said. Remarkably, that was true. Just because you're paranoid doesn't mean people are out to get you. You know what? The thing I like about Baltimore is Maryland is a weed legal state. And so even without a doctor, I can smoke weed. What happened? Okay. So, I'm going to tell you. Washington, D.C. is a weed legal district too. But that's okay. My point of this was, I love you, Sarah. Can you give me a comp ticket? I would really, really like to meet you. Maybe you know about my story, I don't know. But I'm a homeless woman. It was gonna grow ships and nuts. And I don't know. Maybe I'll just sleep out on the streets for another 4 weeks. I don't know. Where am I gonna go? Baltimore? I thought at one point I was gonna go to Washington, D.C. to make a difference. You know, people are saying about Kamala Harris, and I'm telling her, you know what? We need a woman to run this country because all of the men, all of the white men, and the one black man, okay. You know what? I'm very pro Obama, so that's not the thing. But women are better leaders than men. This is what I believe. I think they are. But you know what? Men are too toxic. Except for my hubby. Okay, he's getting over the toxicity. Healing is a slow and difficult process. And you have to be willing to do it. And I know he is willing to do it. He's really making great strides. But he liked my I Choose You. And Orpheus, I recorded that with a guitar. It was a 2-track, right? But I recorded it with the Cordoba at Nancy's house. Okay. that I bought when I hocked my wedding ring. I hocked my wedding ring to my Cordoba. Let's see. What else did I cover? She used to be mine like 800 million times, okay? And let's see. Someone Who Loves Me. I'm going to do that one over again. Because I'd initially done that for the Cowboy Angel, who turned out to be the Cowboy Hitman. Okay. All right. But I can do it for my new hubby. If you got time, Sarah, maybe you listen to me. Cover you. I heard you cover Sia, Chandelier. I heard you cover her Chandelier. I did one slow version on the piano. And then I did one fast version on the piano when I was at the cursed home 2 Suites. And then I did it again at the Curtis Apartments at the Lotus at the Villages Walk. Oh my God. Okay, I was evicted from there over a year ago. I was sleeping on the floor with my dog Charlie. Okay. When I tell you about these things, I have to use a British accent. I think it's a coping mechanism. But anyway, where was I going with that? Chandelier. Oh, yeah. You know, because what I found was that my dog suffers from PTSD, just like the rest of us. That's how Derek and I communicate, through music. And when, he was on high alert there, right? We're sleeping on the floor. He hears every sound, people knocking. The neighbors are all hostile. He knows that already, right? So he's PTSD strung out. I'm sleeping on the floor, right? He won't sleep if I'm on the floor. And when I'm awake, he'll sleep, but he sleeps with one eye open. And the only thing that calmed him down was my music. Okay. Where was I going with that, though? That's when I did Chandelier on the guitar. And I did Hotel California for the second time. But what does that have to do with Sara Bareilles? I don't know. I think I did all her songs on... No, because I did Orpheus with a guitar. But I didn't do Someone Who Loves Me. Oh. I could do it from the street. A Sara Bareilles song every day until somebody buys me a ticket. I got a week. I can come up with 7 songs. Sara, I want to meet you, honey. Send me your ticket. I don't know, FBI in Washington, D.C., are you ready to hear me and see my evidence? The Kennedy Center. I could be like Jenny. You remember Forrest Gump? Okay. Because it's like one of my favorite movies. I love Tom Hanks too. Okay. Because at one point, Derek and I are like just driving around Seminole Stadium, okay, in the middle of the night. And what I realized is he's got these like sandals on. He's kind of sort of walking in sandals like an old Asian dude, okay? And he's like sort of shuffling like my grandfather, okay? On my mother's side, okay? All right. No, great-great-grandfather. Maybe just shuffling around like my great-great-grandfather. And I said something like, you know what? I'm kind of like you're Jenny and you're you're Forrest Gump and I'm your Jenny. And he goes, yeah, honey, turn here. And I'm like, then I think about that one scene where she's protesting at the reflecting pool in Washington, D.C. And Forrest, I think, is coming home from being in the Army. And they see each other again because she's an activist. But he loves her so much. He does. His whole heart is devoted to Jenny. And even after all the things that she did and went through. I like that movie. Why was it talking about that movie? Because I'm going to Washington, D.C. I'm taking a trip. I got $8 for the bus ticket. Where's it going to land me? Am I going to see Sarah? Please. Please. I'm a homeless woman. I got my Social Security disability. I'm here. Crochet, spending all my money on yarn crochet. Ask for the other homeless people. I can't find a house. The place where I was supposed to be at the safe haven really wasn't a safe haven. I was really scared of that one dude that worked there. Oh my God. Right. I could go on for days, but I know you're a celebrity. Please. Please send me a ticket. Comp ticket.